green filter arrow should give you priority, but always keep a lookout. Great spot. Speed limits are exactly that. They are limits. It doesn't mean that you've got to get to that level. And this is a perfect example where getting to the speed limit on this motorway wouldn't be suitable. I think John does a great job, as always, of driving to the conditions. We've obviously got some poor conditions. Quite foggy weather, although it's not too bad, visibility is reasonable, and we're in residential streets, so there's a lot of parked cars. This first decision to hold back and wait was good enough. You could see the headlights of the vehicle coming the other way, and the other car that we were following actually pull into another space. But then this one comes down the outside. And this is the brilliant part for me. It's recognising what you can do to help the scenario. I'm not sure what was going on behind, but again, John uses his brain, has a look and thinks, well, if I go back, this situation is going to clear sooner and we can all get on our way. You will always get drivers like this driver of the grey Kia. They will always go to overtake vehicles that have pulled in rather than actually asking themselves why they've pulled in. But the important part is if the roads are going to get better, it's down to the good drivers to actually accommodate the people like the one in front. And as always, John leads the way with his forward thinking. Perfect. This is a pretty good example of letting two vehicles out when you can't go. All I'd like to highlight though is do it without flashing your lights, because the Peugeot on the left may have not seen the Fiesta on the right, and if the Peugeot was turning right, they may have started to go at the same time. Watch the back of the bus as my camera gives his lights a flash. If you want to let people out, just hold back and do it with your position and your speed. Here's a slightly better example of the same thing. Same result, but without the added risk of confusion. Here's another great example of fixing someone else's mistake, and it's the white DPD van that is the problem. You should have waited in that space. But some quick thinking from my camera gets the job done. I would also like to add, some quick thinking by the white Peugeot also helped the situation massively. Well done. Here's another clip from John, but it's the car in front that does a good job. Look at the sign on the left show the blue light, so we've got some emergency services approaching. And look at the good job the car in front does. It realises where the ambulance is going and sits still. Basic, but very effective. Great job. Because there's a high percentage of people who don't do roundabouts well, it's a good idea to keep an eye on everyone. And this is a superb piece of skill. There's no in the world that Vauxhall should have done that, but my viewer has just stopped an accident. Brilliant. The potential new changes to the highway code are being put in place to protect the more vulnerable. And this is a perfect example. As I pause the clip, there shouldn't be any issues with what we're seeing here, but look how quickly it changes. That young lad wasn't even looking right as he started to run across the road, so it's our job to look out for him. Nice work. This clip shows great awareness and the needs of other road users. My camera moves to lane 3 but sees the white car is already catching the lorry, so goes straight to lane 4. Great shout. Here's another one of John's clips, and at this point I would like to add, John doesn't send me these with the interest of getting a pat on the back. He literally sends me them because they're different examples of things that could go on out on the road. And it's only because of John's consistently high standards that I tend to use these clips in these nice driving episodes. What we've got here is the vehicle in front is going to do a poor overtake of this horse rider that's coming up on the left. At this point where the silver car goes past is no way in the world a good enough view to actually do this safely. It was round about here that they started to overtake. But John shows his patience and shows his good skill and waits until he has a good view, first of all down the pavement side and then to the road side of the red truck coming the other way. He passes really wide and really slow and does it correctly. Perfect. This clip shows a good save, but I think I probably would have been a little slower approaching this junction because we can't see the red vehicle very well, and that means they can't see us.
It's a global problem. Let's just say the climate of this world is changing for the worse. Well, it sounds like fiction to me.
Protected.
This will definitely tie into the credit.
And as with all of the clips, thanks a lot for sending them in. Here's a merge in turn situation where the white van on the right should really have fell into line behind the blue BMW. But the BMW driver susses it out nice and early and just gives the space. As I said earlier on in this episode regarding the grey Kia, you're going to get people like this all the way through, and it's down to good drivers to accommodate the idiots. Brilliant work. The camera also deserves a mention for keeping well back and out the way. Big thumbs up.